Okay, Aronu, welcome today to our podcast call. So maybe we can start by you telling us, who you are and about your journey so far.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, David. So, my name is Ugochukwu Aronu. I'm a software engineer. I'm based in Nigeria. I'm the founder and the CEO of Xend Finance. So, my background is in engineering. I've been building on the blockchain for close to 4 years now. And I've actually worked on multiple projects in the blockchain space. In 2000, I got to the blockchain in 2016, ending of 2016, beginning of 2017, where I started working on like smart contracts, building out wallet systems. The first wallet system I built was the Bitcoin wallet, and then I had the first meetup in the southeastern part of Nigeria, telling people about crypto then, and then demonstrating my wallet and how it worked. It was really interesting at the time. Yeah, so I studied here in Nigeria. I've been in Nigeria almost all my life, so yeah, so that's a little bit about my background. Yeah.
All right. Can you just maybe tell us some of those projects that you're involved in a bit earlier before, you started your latest project?
Okay, yeah. So one of the things I've worked on is I've worked on games. I've worked on games that even run on the blockchain. I've worked on different projects, Web 2.0 projects. That is non-blockchain projects. I've built projects for software for like banks, for schools. We built softwares like there's a peer-to-peer internet sharing platform I built in the past. It's blockchain related as well. I've also worked on different payment services that actually leverage my Bitcoin wallet as the payment gateway. So, of course, on the wallet I built, I actually added more cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, more ERC20 tokens. So some startups actually plug into it to help them process payments, so they don't need to bother themselves about managing wallets and all that. Yes. So these are some things I've done in the past. I've worked on a couple of projects, here in Nigeria. We built things for people outside the country as well. So yeah, these are like very interesting things. Even building a decentralized storage application running on interplanetary file systems. That's IPFS or popularly known as Filecoin. Yeah. So there's a lot we've done. We also work on like hardware, building like firmwares and all that stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we do. And personally, I'm an engineer, so I focus mostly on engineering. And that's really fun. Yeah.
But obviously, I think one of the things you're known for is your latest project, the Xend Finance project.
Xend Finance.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about, what you're doing there, how the project got started, and, the kind of problem that you're solving with the new project.
Okay, so yeah, Xend Finance actually is a decentralized finance platform for cooperatives and credit unions that enables them to earn multi-levels of interest. Okay, and then we've actually created this platform really to solve the problems faced by people who are financially underserved and who are living in developing or possible economies, like mostly you find in Africa, and then there's some parts of Asia and in some other regions of the world. So the main aim of Xend Finance is to aggregate multiple lending protocols and then enable people who don't even understand anything about cryptocurrencies, right? And who face steady devaluations, people who don't really have access to very good financial services to be able to earn very good interest, earn like double digits in interest annually, and also do that in a stable currency, okay, which is pegged to the US dollar. So the reason we actually started working on Xend Finance was because we looked at, I'm based in Nigeria. Nigeria has faced multiple devaluations in the last 3 to 5 years. I think we've gotten over 3 devaluations of our currency. It's crazy. We've had people saving, for a very long time, and they just they'll get to realize that all the money they've saved are actually not valuable anymore. They've actually lost value by saving in the local currency. So that's very bad. And it's not as if things are looking at getting better, especially when it comes to the local currencies, the fiat currency. So I thought about it, and I also belong to like some cooperatives, and majorly most cooperatives and credit unions here in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. What they do, they bring their money together, they save it, or they invest in, let's say, real estate or treasury bills, bonds, and all that. But the returns from all those investment instruments are actually very low, or most of the time is less than even 3%. And then the problem again is that these investments or these savings are done in the local currency, which over the years lose value. Now, looking at that problem, it's a major problem. It actually discourages people from saving, it discourages people from trying to make investments in the country. Now, people are now looking out for ways to, invest in the international money market, ways to protect their assets from devaluation. But even if you try to do that, the way the financial systems are set up, the existing traditional financial systems, the way they are set up will actually not allow you to do that easily, right? Because you need to go through banks, you need to have different like accounts, have so much paperwork. And most times people that actually face this real problem, that's the low income earners, people who belong to these cooperatives, who belong to these credit unions, who really need this help, right? They are unable to go all through that paperwork. They're unable to afford to do those things. That's why we started thinking of a means to be able to bypass or not even bother about like the middlemen, the banking system, and give these users direct access to the global money market. And by leveraging DeFi, we were able to achieve this, right? And that's why we started working on Xend Finance, seeing what was happening with the decentralized financial space. It was really amazing. And we saw that this was a huge opportunity to get into the decentralized financial space and also help people, right? Which is the main aim. We want to get into this space and help these people to solve their problems, to give them access to a global money market where they don't need to worry about steady devaluations. Their savings are pegged or tied to the US dollar, and then they earn interest, mostly double digits every year. So it's something that is great for them. So this is what really drove us to build Xend Finance. And yeah, this is the problem we're actually solving.
It's amazing how you've been able to deploy DeFi, or I think Xend sounds like one of the real DeFi use cases on the continent so far that is actually using DeFi to bring value. Would you say that's the case?
Yes, that's very much the case. And, we've always, in our project or within ourselves in the team, we always try to make sure that anything we do, we have to bring, value. It's not really about the noise or maybe the hype that comes with crypto. It's all about value. What's the underlying value, you're bringing to people? Because at the end of the day, noise and hype will fade. Now, what matters or what will stand or what will remain is the value that you're really offering to people. So if you're not offering any value to anyone from day one, it becomes a problem. So that is one of the things we really thought about and try to make sure that we put value first, right, in building this project. And that's what we've been able to achieve. So yes, we're actually the first DeFi-based project from Africa and also bringing real value to people. Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that you also have a Xend token within the ecosystem. Maybe you can tell us, how does the Xend token work within, the Xend Finance ecosystem?
Okay, awesome. So basically, the Xend token is a native token, right, that operates or helps to power the Xend Finance protocol. Now, what it does for people is this. The first thing we do with the Xend tokens is actually rewarding people for using the protocol. Now, you realize that this protocol is something that is new. It's something that people are not very used to. So one of the things we've tried to achieve, right, is to have a way of incentivizing people when they use our protocol. And that is one of the major functions of the Xend tokens. So for example, we have multiple savings strategies and operations, right, on the Xend Finance protocol. And how people actually like get incentivized is when say, for example, you save and the protocol, you have your funds locked in for a period of time, you now unlock some tokens, and those tokens are transferred to your wallet when you try to withdraw your funds, right? So he encourages people to use the different saving strategies we have on the Xend Finance protocol. So he also encourages people to become a part of the system. Another thing the tokens are used for is governance. So governance is where people are able to make votes, propose votes. Let's say there are some particular parameters governing the entire protocol, and people feel, oh, maybe these parameters should be changed to make things better. So people can vote. And with your tokens act as like a medium. It gives you it's like a criteria, right? A very important parameter. In fact, it's like the only parameter for you to be able to cast your vote. So what happens is people with a certain number of tokens, approximately 500,000 Xend tokens, can lock in those tokens on a smart contract and then perform a vote depending on what parameters they want to change. Because the idea is that this protocol is for the community, it's for people, right? So people should be able to govern what happens in the ecosystem. And then another thing is actually we're launching decentralized insurance. This is actually new. We're going to be announcing how it works once we go mainnet is live. So we're launching decentralized insurance, and people can also use these tokens to purchase insurance. Because when creating our system, because like I mentioned earlier, we're building long-term value. We're here for the long term. So we also want to ensure that we protect the assets of individuals who have, who have deposits on the smart contract. So with this, so individuals can purchase decentralized insurance with our tokens. And in case of anything like maybe a bug or whatever, users can always retrieve or get payments based on the amount of insurance coverage they have. And another thing is we enable people to also like stake these tokens to be able to earn like some extra tokens in future. Because when you lock up the tokens, reducing the amount of tokens in circulation, and everything, and people are able to have these tokens locked up, and then they earn some small percentage in future as extra, just for locking up their tokens in the ecosystem. So these are like the use cases of the Xend Finance token. And the main aim is really to improve the ecosystem, to be able to enable the ecosystem thrive and to grow, right? While people use the protocol, yeah.
So far, I'm sure you've been growing really fast. Would you mind maybe sharing a few numbers on so far on maybe the growth, the progress, and possibly the use of?
Oh yeah. We launched our testnet. That was I think that was like late November.
Mm-hmm.
So in less than 2 weeks, we had over 1,500 users from 75 countries, in the world.
Okay.
And yeah, so far we have our testnet still running. Numbers are like very great. We even launched like an ambassador program in less than like 3 days. We've gotten over 250 applicants. And the idea of the ambassador program is to be able to enable us penetrate different regions of the world, have real people speak to their local environments or local communities about Xend Finance and the value we offer, right? So these numbers are things that have really driven us. Also, we did our strongholders offering, like public sale, and within the strongholders offering, we had over $144 million staked in order to purchase, our tokens, which was crazy because this happened in less than like 3 days. We had over 3,000 applications, merit applicants, right? So these numbers actually show us that, okay, we're onto something really huge, and that the future is really bright for us because we're actually solving a real problem. And one of the things we're now trying to do is we're trying to go live by the end of this month, that's the end of March, as in launching our mainnet. Because one of the things we also were able to achieve this period is our audit. We had like a post showing that our audit has been done. It was done by the best in the business, which is CETIP. So our code audit has been completed. So we're ready to launch. So yeah, these are some of the numbers we have. And we're really, really excited, to have multiple, to have multiple people use our products. And yeah, before I forget, I totally left this out. We already signed partnerships with some fintechs that manage credit unions in Nigeria. We're working on more like in Kenya, even in the US. So the current partnerships we have, again, they are giving us access to over 1.2 million credit union members and cooperative members. and we're going to be onboarding these users or these members into our ecosystem. And this is something that is really huge. This is something you don't see with existing DeFi protocols, because most DeFi protocols are just focusing on, crypto savvy individuals, people who understand how crypto works. But ours is quite different. So we're really excited.
All right. Yes, I noticed that you are really big on partnerships. You're always announcing partnerships, including the recent partnership with Bioeconomy. So I like that approach where you're collaborating with other projects and especially just trying to add value to the ecosystem. I know that you also recently got highlighted by Google for your great customer service. I mean, what's so appealing about Xend Finance, along those lines? The article really praised Xend Finance for its great customer care.
Okay, so basically what we did was, in our Xend ecosystem, we have Xend Finance, we have our Xend, a payment service, and then we have Gina, which is like a business tool for merchants. So Google actually, the first thing they did was, because they are all under our ecosystem. So what Google highlighted, a new product which we launched a couple of months back called Gina for small businesses. For example, within the Xend ecosystem, we have over 60,000 users now. And we're also going to be onboarding all those people to our Xend Finance protocol, because they're going to be gaining, enjoying the values of DeFi. So what Google highlighted, what we've done with Gina, that's our merchant business tool. And because, of course, it's within the whole Xend Finance, Xend ecosystem. That's why, the accolade are spread across board, because the thing is, we're always very committed to whatever we're doing, right? We take our customers first. We try to make sure we add value, no matter what it is. We try to make sure that the customers are first, that value is always, taken ahead of every other thing. And that is why we got that accolade from Google. It was actually a really, really cool thing to see. It was a really cool thing to see. Yeah.
So that personally stood out for me. You guys went out and beyond to actually offer value to your customers, money aside, offer value fast. And I think it really paid off really well. Let's move on to the building aspect of Xend Finance. I know that you've built Xend on top of Binance Chain. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. What moved you to build on top of BSC, and what are some of the advantages that you've gained from doing that?
Okay, yeah. So the reason we actually built on the Binance Smart Chain is one. So the Binance Smart Chain is EVM compatible. By that, like it enables you to write or to take existing code base that runs on the Ethereum blockchain and deploy it on the Binance Smart Chain without changing anything. Because the first version of Xend Finance we created was on the Ethereum blockchain. But we know that the Ethereum blockchain is plagued with some, problems like, high gas fees. That's like the major problem, especially when the network is congested. So, but Binance Smart Chain has solved that problem, because of their consensus. They have the proof of stake authority consensus algorithm, and which is really interesting. So it has helped with reducing gas fees, making transactions very fast. And, for us here in Africa, it's something that was really interesting to explore, because most people in Africa don't really have very high income, especially the kind of people we're targeting. So if you want these individuals to come on top of your protocol, it will only be natural for you to make it cheap for them to come on board. You don't want them to maybe a user wants to save about $100 and he's going to pay about $80 in gas fee. I mean, that's outrageous. That's too much, right? So you want a situation where someone wants to pay $100 and maybe pays about 10 cents in gas fee. I mean, it doesn't really exactly. So that's basically one of the reasons we chose the Binance Smart Chain, to build the second version of Xend Finance on the Binance Smart Chain. And that's where we have our testnet running. And it's been really great. So another thing we gotten from the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem or the Binance ecosystem is support. So Binance is really big on support, helping, they have a very huge community, so they even have grants for companies that build on the Binance Smart Chain and all that. So they've provided a lot of support with help in the community, talking about the project, because it helps us get to a larger audience like really quickly. So those are the things we've been able to get from the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem. And it's been really great. We even have, I have some, I'm part of the Binance Smart Chain team. There's a roadshow going on in Africa. So I'm basically going to be speaking more on the development part of things, because Binance has this goal of having about 1,000 blockchain engineers from Africa. So it's part of my own contribution to the ecosystem to speak to people about developing on the blockchain, on the Binance Smart Chain, and the values of actually developing there and the advantages. So yeah, but the Binance Smart Chain has a really good use case, especially for people here in Africa. Yeah.
All right, great. I mean, now speaking of development, yes, I did see you are part of the, Binance development tour, Smart Chain tour. Maybe also talk to us a bit about that. I mean, what's the future of blockchain development on the African continent?
Okay, yeah. So I think Africa is, I feel Africa needs blockchain the most out of every other continent in the world, because of the way things are. Economies are unstable here. Things are not predictable in Africa. So it's always good for security and transparency. And that's what the blockchain really offers. Okay, and I feel Africans are in the best position to start developing. Like I started building on the blockchain over 4 years ago, and I realized something. Even between then and now, we've not really acquired. I think all the engineers, because everything engineering that we do at Xend Finance is done in-house. We don't outsource any engineering thing. But I've realized that we don't even have that many blockchain engineers in the whole of Africa. Usually, when companies want to do something, one way or the other, it finds its way to me or to somebody that I know. You know, that kind of thing. It's not really, or them, most of them, like if they don't find people who are free here in Africa, they can outsource, right? And most times you see the engineers are maybe in India, in the US. So there's a lot of work to be done. And there are so many blockchain startups springing up. There are so many springing up in different parts of the world. So Africans are in the best position to get this skill, apart from the fact that they can offer this service to different people in different parts of the world, to also solve their problems here, right? We have a lot of problems that, can be solved by the blockchain here in Africa. And that's one of the reasons I even took up, the position of helping with the whole Binance Smart Chain development tour, for Africa, because for me, it's more like being able to develop the blockchain development ecosystem, because Africans mostly are consumers of technology, not producers of technology. But this way, that we have a chance now. The blockchain is something that is new. It's something that a lot of people have not even figured out. At times, people think, that they've gone so far. In the technology, it's still at the very, very tender stages. So Africa has an opportunity here to drive that growth. We have an opportunity to actually become, one of the frontiers, one of the people who are actually promoting, or who will be in the forefront of the blockchain development ecosystem globally, actually. So we need to get in now, and we need to start building. I personally feel we're already doing big on trading, right? We're already doing big on buying and selling of crypto, but we should actually even do bigger in building, because that is where everything basically lies. Yeah.
In closing,
Yeah.
maybe I can ask this last one. Obviously, been successful in building Xend, and obviously your experience in the space is quite valuable. What advice would you give to fellow African entrepreneurs who are also trying to build, trying to, be as successful as you are?
So the thing is, one advice I'll give to developers or entrepreneurs here in Africa is, you just keep building, regardless of how difficult things might be. Like, things always take time. That is one thing I know. They always take time.
Thank you so much, Aronu. I think we really needed to hear that advice, especially from someone who's been building for so many years. Sometimes it's easy to think that success is overnight, but we sometimes forget that behind the overnight success, it's years of building. And I think you're
exactly.
Yeah, I think you're a classic example of that. So again, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah, and we really look forward to seeing Xend Finance grow bigger, and make the rest of us in Africa proud.
Thank you very much, David. I'm really happy to be on your podcast, and I hope what gets out to everybody. And I'll really be happy to come back later in the near future, to talk about things we're doing. Super excited, and I hope things should get like really better and bigger.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We look forward as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.